Hair color formulation is another important aspect of creating successful hair color. We will focus this lesson on pages 690 and 691. Our learning objective will be to list the 5 key questions to ask when formulating a hair color. Hair color formulation should be viewed as a math equation. A plus B will always equal C. Yellow plus blue will always equal green. If yellow is A and blue is B, then C must be green. But as we go through this lesson, you will find that A will always be the existing color of the hair. B will always be the color we apply to the hair, and C should always be what the client asked for. When formulating for hair color, we must always begin with the level and tone that the client has currently. We can add color and depth to the existing color and level, or we can remove some of the existing color and level, and then formulate from what is left. Either way, we must formulate with what is there. This existing level and tone will always be the letter A in our equation. The letter B. This is the portion of the equation that we must carefully calculate. We know from the laws of color theory that blue and yellow will always equal green. So if I put a hair color that has a predominantly blue base on blonde hair, her hair will turn green. So if the client desires a nice strawberry blonde, I definitely do not want to use a blue-based color. I would look for a color that would give me the proper red-orange tone that the client is desiring. C will always be the sum of A plus B. It is our intention to ensure that C will always result in the level and tone the client desires. This is the information you clarify during the consultation process, and make sure you and the client are understanding the same colors. You will want to make certain to use swatches and photos to help clarify this information. Always make sure you and your client are completely understanding what the other is saying. Ensure that your version of caramel is the exact same version of caramel that the client describes. If you and your client are not on the exact same page, in the exact same book, then mistakes can, and likely will, happen very easily. As we learned in a previous lesson, the structure of the client's hair will have an impact on our color results. So be sure to consider the client's texture. Is it fine, medium, or thick, and how will you need to accommodate your color formulation to ensure the best results? What degree of porosity is the hair? Is it a high porosity that will absorb a lot of color, and if so, is that cuticle layer going to be able to close properly so that the color doesn't fade too quickly? What about the density of the hair? Does the client have a thick density that we need to make sure to not underestimate the quantity of our color mixture? Do you need 2 ounces of color, or 4? What about the overall condition of the hair? Hair color can sometimes cause the hair to feel dry and brittle. Is the hair healthy enough for a chemical service? Has there been previous hair color that we are going to have to remove before applying a new color? All of these processes are damaging to the hair. The question is, can the hair withstand the damage we are about to put it through and still come out fairly healthy on the other side? If the answer to that is questionable, you may need to inform your client of this fact, recommend some treatments if applicable, and revisit the thought of hair color for another visit. If a client has had hair color services in the past, then it is likely that each area of the hair shaft will be affected variously by the hair color applied during this service. The ends are generally very porous and will take color faster. The midshaft has likely had previous color applications and may take longer to process and may process darker than the intended color desired. The new growth has likely never had any hair color application and may process faster due to the heat provided from the scalp. Each area may need to process hair color differently, so some areas may need to be applied at different times and stages. A strand test will provide this information. Is the client's hair virgin or processed? What level is the client currently? These questions should be answered to guide you in the decision-making process. Virgin hair could be colored in a single process, depending on the desired results, whereas previously colored hair cannot go any lighter without lightening the hair first. Is gray hair present, and if so, what is the percentage of gray hair? As previously discussed, depending upon the amount of gray hair, we will need to ensure our color formulation is a correct fit for the percentage of gray hair present. What is the current tone of the client's hair? Is the desired result just refreshing a faded color, or maybe just brightening up the current tone? Or is the desired result something drastically different? Maybe the client wants to go from a natural brunette to a platinum blonde. Is it possible? And if so, what steps do I need to take to make it happen? If I will be taking a client's level lighter, I need to understand the contributing pigments or undertones that will affect the outcome of my color service. We will discuss contributing pigments in further detail a little further into our lessons, but know that they can play a very important role in your service. What is the client's desired level and tone? This is the most important question you can ask yourself during a hair color service consultation. This is also where you and your client should understand each other completely. Use common terms to describe processes and use photos and color swatch books to gain a complete understanding between you and the client. Although almost every single color line out there will have a level 5 RV, each one of them differ. Redken's 5 RV is not the exact same color as Rusk's 5 RV, which is not the same as Pravana's 5 RV. Use swatch books for the color line you intend to use, and double, triple, and quadruple check with the client that this is the color that is agreed upon. After you have taken all of the aforementioned into account, you need to determine what is missing. I know I need to add a selected color to the existing color to achieve the desired color. But what color would that be? That is what you must carefully calculate. The combination of the selected shade and the volume of the developer chosen will determine the outcome of the color application. Do you need lift or deposit? Always remember to formulate with both lift and deposit in mind, as you will always get both lift and deposit from each of your developers. We will further discuss developers in a later lesson. In what method will you be applying your hair color? Will it be a single process, and if so, will you use an applicator bottle or a bowl and brush method? Will it be a double process, and if so, should you consider a highlighting cap versus foils? Again, future lessons will help to clarify these questions. How much time will the hair color take to process? This question will be answered when you perform the preliminary strand test. So while there may only be 5 key questions, pay attention to the details in each of those questions and ensure that all are answered thoroughly in order to establish a well-designed hair color process. 1. What is the natural level, and does it include gray? 2. What is the level and tone of the previously colored hair? 3. What is the client's desired level and tone? 4. Are contributing pigments or undertones to be revealed? 5. What colors should be mixed to get the desired result? Remember, A plus B will always equal C. Always double, triple, and quadruple check your math. Ensure that all questions are answered and answered thoroughly. Avoid as many mistakes as possible. Your color formulation is the most difficult aspect of the hair coloring process. Once you can formulate hair color confidently, you will be well on your way to a lucrative and successful career as a hair color artist.